5:30. It's also raining a little bit. As well as it being Finn's first official elementary start, Rue's first official comp, and my first comp with 2 horses, today is extra special because I am also christening my Sam Shield. Oh my god. I've had the same Dublin helmet for over 5 years, so this is very, very, very exciting. We are on our way to test number 1. As much as I was excited about my new helmet, I promise I was also excited about my new horse, which sounds crazy to say out loud still. I've had him for just under 3 months now. I don't think it will fully sink in for another couple of months, if not longer. I thought while you watch him do some lovely transitions in our warm-up and do our first test, instead of voicing over the prelim 1-1, I would do a proper introduction and tell you guys more about him. He was definitely a little bit stressed, and the lead up to this competition wasn't amazing, so I was very impressed with how he handled everything and how well behaved he was being in the warm-up. All his transitions were actually really lovely. I was patting him lots, and we're already into the first test and I haven't started. Okay, so we brought him home on the 28th of November from Lizzie Wilson Fellows, who's based in Newcastle. I thought I'd leave that in to show, yes, he was a bit on edge, but I think we hit it pretty well, which was good. And it was also just a funny and memorable first halt together. I was like, oh, you're saying hello, letting the world know that you're here. And I was clearly a bit tense as well. You can see me leaning forward there. My posture's horrendous. Sorry about that. And I'm just chopping and changing the test so you can see a bit more. Anyway, I'm supposed to be giving you some more background information. So with Lizzie, he did one competition. He won one of his prelim tests, but before that, he's only done training, lots and lots of dressage training with his beautiful owner of 5 years. She was an older lady who bought him as a 9-month-old and then had to sell him on because he grew too big. He's massive. He was sold to us as 16.3, but everyone has said he's bigger than that. I'd say he's at least 17 hands, but he is a BFG. Beautiful temperament, beautifully natured horse, but his owner is a smaller lady and he's huge, so she decided to sell him on through Lizzie, who did such a wonderful job. She made the whole process so smooth, easy, and very quick, which is why it's taken me so long to process the fact that I have a second horse as well, because the whole thing happened very, very fast. So yes, highly recommend Lizzie if you need to sell or are thinking of buying a horse. She was great, and I'm still in touch with Rue's previous owner as well, the one that had him for 5 years, and she has been a big help answering any questions I have and just being a part of the journey. She confirmed that he has never done a jump in his life. He's done trot poles, that's it. However, she said she's seen the way he jumps things in the paddock. I'm assuming little logs and ditches and stuff like that, and he makes a good shape. And I have trotted him over some logs around the cross-country course at Equestrian Park, and he's taken to that really well. So we'll see if he likes jumping, if he wants to do a bit of jumping, but I don't mind if we stick to the dressage or we do a bit of everything. We're just going to see where the wind takes us. He loves trail riding. He seems to be quite brave, but we're just going to see how we go. Some more things I learned from his previous owner. He was broken in by Bruce Odell, who's apparently a great horseman. He was called Zorro, or however you pronounce it. That was his original name, and then his owner picked the name Flynn. So he was Flynn for 5 years, but we couldn't have Flynn and Finn because people call Finn Flynn already. You'd be surprised how many people get it mixed up, but that's just too confusing. His registered name is Flynn Rooney, though, so that's where the Roo came from, which I think is super cute. I call him Rudy. Does anyone know the dinosaur, the big T-Rex from Ice Age 3 or 4, I think it is? Anyway, I think that suits him because he's massive. so hopefully that name sticks. We are coming to the end of our first test here. I thought his transitions were really good. I thought he was very brave, and it was a pretty accurate test other than a slight loss of direction you may have spotted in the walk when I thought I was going across the diagonal for a second and then I sort of swerved back to the outside track. Anyway, we got a 67 and came 4th out of 8, which I was very happy with. This is some warm up from our second test and my mum explaining to my dad and my gran what was going on.
Yeah, he does. He's a good horse. He could be going mental at this particular point in time.
Yeah.
With the pressure, because
good.
He's not used to competing, so.
Yeah, lots of other horses.
Looks lovely.
What's this next test called?
It's called the preliminary 1.2. So she did the 1.1 this morning.
Okay.
He can do some of the movements for novice quite well, but he's not balanced. See how this horse is really sitting on its hindquarters. So that's what he has to learn how to do. He has to learn to carry his weight differently for the high level movements, and that's just training and time, which Vinny can do now, but this horse is still building his muscle that he needs to be able to do that. Because I have to be very strong through the back and through the hindquarters.
Mum did a good explanation there. I thought I would just leave that in. For those that think that dressage is just about keeping the horse's head down, there she was alluding to one of the many, many layers and the scale of training that is dressage. I think it's so interesting. I could talk about it all day long, and I'm so excited to keep going and training with 2 horses. That's double the amount of learning and time in the saddle. But yeah, the plan wasn't to have 2, as I talked about in my last video. The love I have for Finn is overwhelming and all-consuming, and I adore him with my whole heart. He stays with me until one of us dies, but I think it will be really good to have a bond with another horse as well, and it's really exciting. Now's the time to try. While I'm still at uni, I don't have any other major commitments, and I have the time and the money to support myself. You only live once, so now's the time to give the 2-horse life a better crack, because I did have Laddie for a while. That didn't really work out, but I do already have quite a soft spot for Roo. Long term, I'll probably sell him on in 2 years, or potentially more than that, or less. I could have him for a year or 3 years. Who knows what will happen, but at the moment, I'm not planning on keeping him forever, but I think it will be really, really rewarding and exciting to work with a young horse and add to his training. Imagine getting a horse who's got 1 prelim comp under his belt and then selling him on as a horse who's done elementary, maybe even medium. That would be an absolute dream. A good dressage horse who's gone around a couple of EVA 65s or potentially higher, great at trail riding, great for beginners. I think he's got a lovely temperament. He'll make a perfect all-rounder. But in the meantime, I'm really excited to keep getting to know him. It was always a dream of mine to sort of develop a horse or work with a young horse, bring them up the levels a little bit, but I thought that was something for the far, far future. So to have the opportunity present itself now, I'm so grateful, and we've had quite the journey already. He's already taught me heaps, and we had some rough patches. It was really good to start, the first month, I think, after we brought him home. He was super, and then it all kind of went downhill right up until before this competition. So he exceeded expectations, but, first comp, I was simply hoping to get around without too much spookiness. He was very spooky in these arenas when we were practicing in the lead up to the comp, so I was really proud that he held it together for these tests. They were quite accurate and rhythmical. The comment from one judge down the bottom of the test says, "Clear, regular paces showing potential." And then the other comment says, this horse has a lot of potential. So that was really, really nice. And then stuff to improve on is needs to stay in a rounder frame and steadier contact, and keep aiming for relaxation over the back. Just little rounder, little hollow here and there, little wobbly on the centre lines. And for our stretchy trot and stretchy walk, needs to stretch down and forward more. Our highest mark was a 7.5 for some of our trot circles, and then all 6s, 6.5s and 7s. So yeah, very consistent, and I have to be pretty happy. So this test was the 1.2 and it scored 66% and 6th place out of 11 combinations. So we were actually like midfield in all 4 of our classes. And honestly, my goal was just to remember all 4 tests and stay relatively calm and collected. My first comp with 2 horses, and yeah, just enjoy the day, which we did in lovely company as always. We actually had a bit of a crowd for this test. Rue's already got a little fan club. Beautiful Ruby came to video, so thank you, Ruby. Both my coaches, Danielle and Amanda, were watching for a little bit, and my mum and my dad and my grandma. So big thank you to everyone who supported me. And yeah, here we are on our final centre line. I appreciate this was a bit long and boring and people don't really want to watch prelim tests, but I think it will be good to have a reference point to come back to and look at our progress over the time to come. And yeah, it's just nice to have a record of the full raw tests put together like this. So I hope you enjoyed.
Good boy.
All right, and we are aboard pony number 2, heading towards test number 3. Honestly, it doesn't matter how we go today because I just love the helmet so much. I feel like we're walking down the aisle to our wedding. Hopefully Finn makes up for his lack of mane with being amazing. I'm sure he will be. Okay guys, to break it up, I've got my mum and my brother here to help me do the voiceover for Finn's first test.
Straight could be cruising tag, but ball.
Bal means balanced.
Oh.
So it needs more balance.
You didn't get any marks for that.
We're up to...
Could be crisper to halt.
We're up to the lengthened trot here.
Move from
Behind?
behind.
No, more from behind, so he needs to push more from his hind end. You can look at the video as well.
She got a 6 out of 10. Are we up to there yet?
Yeah, look at what she's doing.
I don't know what she's doing.
Oh look, she might be moving sideways.
She's sideways trotting.
Yeah.
She's doing a no, she's not. She went the other way.
Yeah.
And she meds Baylor pause.
Needs a better position. Pause for position.
Oh, okay.
Okay, look, now we're up to...
She's stopped. That's called a stop, and she needs to be square.
That's right, a halt.
What's she doing now?
I don't know why she's walking backwards.
It's meant to do that.
Alright. I don't like filming this part because it's really boring.
Yeah,
And you
well,
walk.
fair enough. What do the comments say?
Seller track. COVID have more saving.
Clear over track. O/track. Clear over track.
That says COVID.
Could have more swing. So more swing in his stride. You know how you can swing your ponytail when you're walking?
No.
Oh. Well.
Still just walking.
What?
I'm watching. Oh,
What was that?
it was a walk to a canter.
That's right.
Rounder.
That's right. It needed to be a rounder transition.
Why?
Because he stuck his head in the air.
Right.
As he did with the lengthened canter just then.
Now she's going down the... No, she's doing a circle.
Yeah. Now we're up to the circle.
More balance.
Good job. BAL means balanced.
More collar com.
More
Connection.
More
Collection.
Collection. That's right. Needs to be a bit slower and bouncy.
There's a H in that one.
Oh, she's doing counter.
More uphill balance.
Now
Nailed it.
we have turned the page over. The second half of the test.
She's walking.
What do you
again.
think I'm about to do?
She's gonna canter again. Nailed it.
Well done. And Finn did nail that transition as you nailed the voiceover. This lengthen was a tiny bit better, but see, he's still sticking his head up a bit there.
What? Oh.
Okay, I'm kicking you out now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks.
Righto, I hope you guys found that entertaining. I thought I would take over and explain the rest of the test and how I think it went. I walked out really, really happy with it, but then watching the videos back, you can see he's a bit against me in the contact and a bit resistant. I thought that he was overbent in the warm-up, so I was trying to get him a bit more up in the frame, but that didn't really happen. The comments say needs to be rounder, needs to be more connected, more balanced, more collection, blah, 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 which I completely agree with. It definitely wasn't our best work, but I was happy with him because he did everything that I asked of him. It just wasn't very consistent in the contact. We did get some 7s and 6.5s for our counter-canter though, and then that was our second lengthen trot, which got a 6. That's never going to score well, but that's okay. There was a bit of a change in rhythm in front of the judge there at C because he was anticipating another halt. And then she wrote in the comments for that half circle there, no turns, which I was so confused by. And then I realised it's not a half circle, it's turn left and turn left, so right angle turns. So we got a 4 for that, even though it was quite a nice halt, I thought. We got a 7 for paces, and our highest mark was a 7.5 for our first centre line, which is pretty good. But I was really happy with him for the most part, as you can see. A 64 from one judge and a 62 from the other put us in 4th out of 7 for the elementary 3.1. So I was a little disappointed with the scores from our first test, and I was really determined to go and do a clean novice test because we have never ever done a novice test without at least one mistake, and by that I mean like a miscommunication between the two of us, so we get like a 3 or a 4, or if I go to the wrong marker or something like that. So we've never done a novice test that's accurate and tidy, which is crazy. So I was really hoping to finish off with a bang and achieve that, but unfortunately we had one small mistake. But other than that, it was a pretty nice test, scoring all 6s and 6.5s and one little 7 for a 63% and another 4th place, this time out of 9 combinations, which is pretty good. So our first lengthen there got a 6.5, and the comment says hurried, of course, but 6 or 6.5, I say like, oh, he's never going to score well, but we used to get 5s for our lengthen, so we have improved a little bit. He's never going to be a naturally expressive horse, and there's only so much I can do to improve our lengthens. We're coming around to the second one here. I need to make the transition between working trot and lengthen trot a bit clearer, so shorten more in the corners. And yeah, we'll just keep chipping away. That's only one weakness, but he has many strengths as well. Our leg yields are quite good, but they weren't good in this test here, so they both got 6s. This is our second leg yield here, and the comments say falling shoulders and needs to step across and forward, which is really tricky when it's a shallow leg yield like that. It's hard to show. Sorry, Mum's filming is a little bit skew-whiff there. And our transition to walk got a 6.5. I'm so happy with our walk. I can't believe he used to jig jog in every single test and we were both always so tense, and now I can let him fully stretch out and he's relaxed and I'm relaxed and I trust him. We got a 6 in this case though, and the comment says show more over track and purpose, which is a bit disappointing because his walk usually, well, since we stopped jig jogging, it scores quite well. And then here comes our big fat mistake where he's still in elementary mode and he did a beautiful walk to canter even though I just wanted trot, and then I was like, hey, what are you doing?
And then he was like, what do you mean? I just did a lovely transition, and stuck his head in the air. In frustration, we got the transition at A eventually, but yeah, it was a bit of a mess. We still got a 6, which is very generous. And then the circle there got a 6.5, but it was a little bit resistant. Again, I think I probably just got a bit tense after that little blip, and that was meant to be a lengthen canter, which was a bit modest for a 6.5. And this transition was quite accurate, straight over X, but he was sort of swinging his head in the bridle there against my hands, so probably didn't look as pretty as it could have, and that transition was a bit above the bit. So again, not our best work, but it was still a pretty sweet test apart from that one mistake. This circle saw us score our one and only 7. I guess it was just a bit more accurate and a bit smoother. And then coming into our other lengthen, the comment says needs to show transition. So again, needs to be more clear between working and lengthen. This is something he can score well in because he does such a lovely collected canter. So I just really need to bring it back before I lengthen. And the transition at M was quite accurate, I thought, for a 6.5. Now we're doing a stretchy trot circle.
Stretchy trot on a long rein.
Mum was just explaining to my gran what was going on. We got a 6 for that, and the comment says balance lost, which was a bit sad because he usually loves his stretchy trot.
Beanie.
That little head toss was just him getting offended by one of my half halts. And then coming on to our final centre line for the day, we got a 6.5 for this one. The final comment is try to ride horse more uphill, and well done, which is nice. And 2 cute square halts.
Break free.
Got his perm and Pa's apples. Pack up time. Shout out to Zoe for coming to help, even though she didn't get to ride today. She's still here helping out. What a legend. Why did you do it like that? Oh. There we go. All done. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.